Hello, my name's Tina MacDonald, and today my counselling conversation is around resilience. I think probably it's helpful first of all to mention the type of resilience that I'm not talking about, and that's the kind of, resilience coaching. Mon, you can do this, we're in a pandemic, you need to be learning new things, signing up for Keep Fit for 20 days, all of those kind of things that from the counselling side of things can often, if people are struggling anyway, feel like pressure. And I definitely think there are space for that in people's lives at the right time and for the right reasons, but that's not the kind of resilience we're talking about today. I actually think the word resilience for that perhaps should be, motivational help or whatever it is to take that pressure off, because it's suggesting if you're not doing things, then you're not a resilient person. And I think that that's quite a detrimental thing for some people to take on board, and it's unnecessary. So the type of resilience that I'm talking about is about the type of resilience that people cultivate along the way when they have experienced trauma. So I often think that when I'm working within the field of trauma, I do some work with childhood sexual abuse, and I often feel that during that type of trauma in particular, mainly in the counselling room, I feel like I'm often just holding a mirror to try and have the client see, there is that moment of incredible, immense resilience, and it's been cultivated through your ability to survive the unthinkable times. And it's also a resilience that I see in people who are experiencing huge amounts of loss, bereavement, trauma that's involved with, a massive event in your life, divorce, single parenting, all of those things, all varying levels from, the unimaginable to the everyday that's going on around us. And I feel that it's really important to try and help people be aware of the resilience that they bring with them in their lives, because sometimes the trauma is so complex or the situation is so all-consuming that you cannot see it for yourselves, and that's where the mirroring kind of comes in to say, whoa, let's just take a second to acknowledge what you've just told me, or how you coped with something, or celebrate that moment of positivity because it was there, you just don't recognise it in action. So it's the courage to make a connection and a space of growth. That's for me where resilience lies. It's by allowing stress at times so unimaginable, back to that word of acceptance or forgiveness or wherever it comes from or whatever it is for you, but it's about facing that stress and allowing it to be identified. And through that you can then awaken your own strengths, and resilience is where all of that gets joined together. So again, as always, we talk about making meaning, and it's about trying to make some sense, even from these places of unimaginable, trying to make some sense out of the suffering. And by moving that forward with positive choices and into positive spaces, you are managing the making of the sense, the progress, that process of change, taking you from one place to another, and it's resilience that you have that's enabling you to do that. So by managing your emotional responses, which is what your resilience is helping you do, it helps you to face in a different way, engage with the inner critic, have a look at self-esteem, have a look at the reality of all of these things and where you are in them. And it helps you to open up rather than shut down. Shutting down, I can't cope, I can't look at that. If we discuss it, it makes it real, takes it back there. All of those things, absolutely so. Done at a pace that suits you. Done at the right counsellor for you, to make you feel supported and to understand that the pressure isn't in the room. You don't have to, you don't need to. But if you want to, I believe that your resilience is on your side to help you slowly, slowly work through to a place of connection and growth. You know, there's a conscious shift sometimes. It's almost like using a positive response as an antidote to the negative. It's almost like, well, these terrible things have happened, divorce, bereavement, whatever. And I've now got to a point where I realise that they're having an impact on me right now, today. Is that helpful? Are there other responses? Are there different ways that I can look to deal with what life has dealt me and how I respond to it? So it's a conscious shift into engage with what is happening emotionally and not battling against it. I often think that trauma enables this huge weighted rucksack to develop on your back, and you're carrying it with you wherever you go. And in it, there are defences. You know, well, I can't do that because this. You know, I can't look at that because it's too painful. I can't, you know, all of those things are very real and they are connected to your own trauma or your traumatic experience. But given time and space, I genuinely believe that resilience is part of the healing process. It's about being able to look at your resilience and use it as a support. So it's almost like learning to hold yourself by yourself. You have been through some incredible things, and out of that, your resilience has helped you get to where you are right now. You know, you often see memes and things, you know, saying that, you know, you've been through 100% of your worst days and you're still here. And that's absolutely true. And I believe that part of that holding mechanism, part of that thing that gets you from where you were to where you are today, is your own inner resilience. And I believe that that's something that it's very important to acknowledge. Bring it into the room, and together with the right counsellor, have a look at how that resilience can be embraced, how we can use it to look at things emotionally, to not use, you know, our emotions as a barrier, but to be brave enough to open them and express them, engage with our resilience and cultivate our resilience. A future video that I will have a waffle about is a technique by an Australian researcher. It's called, excuse me, it's called the shark cage, and it's used with trauma counselling and it's used with resilience building, and I hope it will be of help, so I will do that one at some point in the future. Meanwhile, if you have any comments about today's video, which I hope was helpful in some way, or if it's opened up maybe somewhere else that you want to have a look at, or anything that you need to discuss, and leave some comments below. Please subscribe, have a look at the Facebook page, have a look at the website, and as always, take the video as, you know, it's just my impression on the world. It's not set in stone, it's not meant to be our fact, it's just given from a place of love, and I hope it's been helpful. So as always, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.